Welcome to AI Pulse, your spot for the essential AI news of the day. All right, a ton happened on February 26, 2026. Let's get right into it. So, first up, we've got to talk about OpenAI. I mean, they're the biggest name in the game, right? Well, they just dropped two huge announcements, and let me tell you, it looks like a new financial reality is really starting to set in over there. Okay, so for starters, they're officially getting into advertising. The company's COO, Brad Lightcap, basically said, hey, ads can be good if they're done right. It sounds like they're planning this careful, months-long rollout to start making money from ChatGPT's absolutely massive user base. And this is a really big deal, right? I mean, this is a huge shift for a company that's pretty much just relied on its $20 a month subscription and big business deals for cash. But what's really interesting here is the timing, because this hunt for new revenue is happening right alongside another, maybe even bigger financial story. So you have to ask, right? Is this whole pivot a sign that they're feeling some serious financial pressure? I mean, yeah, OpenAI is valued in the hundreds of billions, but it really seems like the days of just infinite spending are coming to an end. And if you want proof of that pressure, look no further than this. The company has just slashed its long-term spending forecast. They went from a planned $1.4 trillion down to $600 billion. That's a staggering $800 billion cut from their plans. Just wow. Okay, let's move on. To really get a handle on why they're feeling that pressure, we need to talk about the hardware that powers this entire revolution. And that means we need to talk about NVIDIA. Get a load of this number. $68.1 billion. That's NVIDIA's revenue for the last quarter alone. That's a 73% jump from the year before. Just unbelievable. And where is all that money coming from? Well, the vast majority of it is from their data center division. You know, the part that sells the essential chips for training and running all these AI models. So here's the bottom line. The cost of the compute power that companies like OpenAI need is just astronomical, and NVIDIA is absolutely raking it in. NVIDIA's CEO, Jensen Huang, really hit the nail on the head. He said, in this new world of AI, compute equals revenues. He's basically framing raw processing power as the new money of the digital world. And you know what? He's not wrong. But look, this whole thing isn't just about giant corporate balance sheets and trillions of dollars. This technological arms race, well, it's now landing directly in our pockets, in our hands. Because on the very same day, Samsung launched its new flagship, the Galaxy S26 series, and it is just packed with new AI features. And there are two features in particular that I think really show us where all of this is headed. First up is something called a privacy display. It's this new screen tech on the S26 Ultra that actually uses software to control the viewing angles, so you can digitally stop people from peeking at your screen. It's like a built-in privacy screen you can just toggle on and off for certain apps or even your whole display. Pretty cool, right? But then there's the big software update. The S26 also features Google's Gemini Assistant, and now it can act as an agent. What does that mean? It means it can actually take actions for you inside other apps. And this is where AI starts to feel a lot less like a simple search box and way more like a true personal assistant. So imagine this. Instead of you having to tap through a bunch of screens, you can just say something like, order my usual from DoorDash. And then Gemini literally navigates the app for you. It fills the cart, gets the order ready, and you're still in control. You can pause it or give the final okay at any time. It's a perfect example of how this abstract, powerful AI is becoming a super practical tool we can all use. All right. But as AI gets more and more powerful and, just shows up everywhere, there's a really critical question that's being asked with a lot more urgency these days. And that question is, what is the cost of all this power? And I'm not just talking about money. I mean, what's the environmental cost of these massive data centers and the insane amount of energy it takes to run these models? Well, OpenAI's CEO, Sam Altman, was actually confronted with this exact issue, and his response, well, it created a total firestorm. He called some of the claims insane, but then he made a comparison that a lot of people found pretty shocking. He said, it also takes a lot of energy to train a human. So by comparing the energy needed to train an AI model to the food and time and everything it takes to raise a person, he kicked off this really fierce debate about the true hidden cost of all this progress. And finally, for our last story, we're going to zoom way out. because a story coming out of China shows that this whole thing isn't just a competition between companies anymore. Nope, this is becoming a race between entire nations. So, a Chinese AI lab called DeepSeek just made a really strategic move. They decided to withhold their latest AI model from US chipmakers like NVIDIA. Instead, they gave early access to domestic Chinese tech companies. It's a crystal clear signal that they are prioritizing their own ecosystem first. So let's just recap the day. In a single 24-hour period, we saw OpenAI searching for new ways to make money while cutting back its future spending. We saw NVIDIA's record-breaking earnings, which really highlights the massive cost of AI compute power. We saw AI agents that can act for you arriving on brand new smartphones. The whole debate over AI's environmental impact got way more intense. And the geopolitical AI race, yeah, that just kicked into a higher gear. And that was just one day in the AI revolution. So what's tomorrow's briefing going to bring? The pace is just relentless, isn't it? And all these tangled stories about money, about power, about ethics, they are absolutely going to continue to shape our future.